Welcome to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. Right now, I'm in the green room of the Biltmore. I have a singer with me. I'd love you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I am a singer. My name is Lindi Ortega.
A lot of people might know you because of your signature red boots, and you are wearing them right now. That's awesome.
Yes, I wear them every time I play a show.
Is it important for any type of performer to have a signature look or accessory?
I don't believe so. I think it's depending on the person and what they want to do. I would never prescribe that on anybody else, but it seems to work for me. And a lot of my heroes did have their own signature look, so it's basically what I've been influenced by.
So what's one signature look that you especially appreciate?
Mr. Johnny Cash and his wanting to wear black all the time. Yeah, as you can see. I too wear black except for the red boots and the red lips.
Right now, we're in the green room, and often when I interview people, they're sort of in their street clothes or their traveling clothes. Right now, Lindi Ortega is in her full-blown stage clothes.
Look. Yes, well, it's because I had an earlier press commitment, so which pictures and video was done for, so that's why I'm all dressed up. Otherwise, I'd be looking like a French librarian sailor.
Red boots, if that's your signature look and you wear them all the time, how do you keep them from getting that road-weary smell?
The spray, the foot spray that you put them in the boots, put them on your feet, everything's good. It's like Febreze for your feet.
Let's listen to a song now.
Okay, let's. Hi, my name is Lindi Ortega, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Oh, you don't know me. I'm a nobody. I sing on the strip for a few pennies. I got a busted string and a broken guitar. I've been singing for tips down at the local bar, like an old tin star, beat up and rusty, lost in the shining stars of Nashville, Tennessee. Well, I wrote this song for those who are like me, lost in the shining stars, the shining stars, where we don't got fame, no name in lights, no billboard hits, and no sold out nights. We got dues to pay, trying to make a way. Some of us wait on luck, well, some just pray, like an old tin star, beat up and rusty, lost in the shining stars of Nashville, Tennessee. Well, I wrote this song for those who are like me, lost in the shining stars, the shining stars. Well, if the music wasn't running through the blood in my veins, I might just walk away. Oh, I would walk away. But the music keeps on running through the blood in my veins, and it just makes me stay. Oh, it makes me stay. Like an old tin star, beat up and rusty, lost in the shining stars of Nashville, Tennessee. Well, I wrote this song for those who are like me, lost in the shining stars, the shining stars of Nashville, Tennessee.
Hi, my name is Lindi Ortega, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Welcome to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Tin Star, which is the title track off Lindi Ortega's 2013 record. I've got Lindi here. We're in the back room at the Biltmore. I'd love you to say a few words about this track.
Tin Star. Well, it's a song that it's a bit of a tribute to people that are pursuing their passion. And it's not for lack of talent or trying that they don't get to where they desire to be. But really, sometimes it's just, it's luck. You know, people are struck with luck. And that's really the difference between why some talented people make it and some people don't. But yet, you know, you see them still soldiering onward and continuing onward. And I wanted to recognize those people with that song because there's so many of them in Nashville. And I just wanted to reach out and say, I hear you and don't give up because I'm one of you and I'm still going too.
All right, Lindi Ortega, you're a Toronto girl who moved to Nashville, Tennessee. What's the biggest contrast you notice at first?
I think Nashville is full of contrast, and that's what a lot of my record sort of touches on. The fact that it's a music city, so it draws a lot of musicians and people aspiring to make it, very much like how Hollywood would draw a lot of actors. But of course you have the boulevard of broken dreams, and there's a lot of people that I think are trying to make it, and they get a little bit jaded by it, and it's understandable because you walk down the street and you see that all the tourists come to walk down Broadway and hear cover bands, people playing like top 40s, new country songs, but you know, anywhere outside of Broadway there's so many great talented Nashvilleian bands, and there aren't a whole lot of people that go out to the shows often because there's just so much music happening on Broadway, so there's this push-pull thing happening. And so that was the biggest contrast, is between the glitter and the grit, I guess you could say, of Nashville. The city has really good hot chicken, which is a southern dish. And there's also this thing called a meat and three, where you order a meat, like a southern dish meat, and you get 3 southern dish sides with it. And they're very popular, and they're only open from like 10 till 3 or something. And there's big lineups for them because it's really like down-home southern cooking. And the food in Nashville's great, I think. And like aside from the music, it's got it's good for a foodie.
You said that you moved to Nashville for inspiration and not to get a record deal. Would you advise this tactic for another artist?
I never like to prescribe or advise things I think every situation's different. This is what works for me. So it depends what you want to do and who you want to be and what kind of laneway you see your music existing in. And for me, it was not something I was interested in getting a major label deal and being a mainstream country act. Hi, my name is Lindi Ortega, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
When I was just a little girl, I had the biggest dreams. Took me from Toronto all the way to Tennessee. Daddy said to sing it loud, go on, make your mama proud, be what you're meant to be. When I bust out of my cage, boy, you should have seen me fly. I ain't into keeping still and watching life go by. I've got the whole world at my feet, I skip along to my own beat. That's just how I survive. I'm a gypsy child, that's what my mama called me. I'm a gypsy child, just wandering free. Traveling, singing songs, here for now but not for long. I'm a gypsy child. Mama says she misses me, she's sad to see me go. When I make it back to town, she's always at the show. She knows just what I have to do. The gypsy life means passing through. I love the open road. I'm a gypsy child, that's what my mama called me. I'm a gypsy child, just wandering free. Traveling, singing songs, here for now but not for long. I'm a gypsy child. All the world's a stage I've got
is Lindi Ortega, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Welcome back to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Gypsy Child off the record Tin Star by Lindi Ortega. I'm sitting with her in the back room of the Biltmore. I'd love it if you could talk a bit about that track.
That song came about because that's what my mom actually calls me, because I tour so much. I don't live at home or anything, but I used to live not far from her when I lived in Toronto, and she just started calling me her Gypsy Child. So that's what inspired that song. I wanted to sort of write something in tribute to her, but also in tribute to the life of living so transient on the road, being a drifter, feeling like a gypsy.
How did she react when she heard it?
It's her favorite song on the record.
Somebody would like to come in to the backstage room. All right, Lindi Ortega, what's your favorite and least favorite country music cliche?
Country music cliche. I don't know.
You've written a lot of songs, so you must be well aware of some of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, everyone's on this whole truck kick. And I did have a record called Cigarettes and Truckstops, but it wasn't like about your Ford pickup truck. I think pickup trucks was like the big thing for a while, and like tailgating and all that kind of stuff, and tailgate parties. And so I guess that was a big cliche. I never got into that. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Some country music is kind of like jocks and cowboy hats and cheerleaders and cowboy boots. So and they sing for that kind of audience and sing all those songs that are about partying and blue jeans and beer and troops and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's not for me.
So if you are not going to be going to any tailgate parties, what type of party are they going to find you at?
Probably a seance in my living room.
Nice. Who's your favorite ghost to try to contact?
Oh, I just talk to all of them. I don't know. I don't know if they ever hang out long enough, to party with me, but I talk to all of them. I talk to Frida Kahlo and Johnny Cash all the time. Johnny Cash is like my Jesus Christ. He's this guy I ask him, like, Johnny, what would Johnny do? Yeah. So
for people who don't know, who is Frida?
Frida Kahlo was a Mexican painter, communist for a while, married to Diego Rivera. She was injured very badly in a trolley accident and almost died, and had terrible pain her entire life, had a very tumultuous relationship, and she really painted some incredible portraits that depicted this pain and loneliness that she suffered, which is why I think I identify with her on the loneliness side of things, because I too suffer from loneliness, as does most of the human race.
You've said that it's always your goal to raise the bar with each record that you put out. How did you raise the bar for your current record, Tin Star?
I think I just tapped into my life in terms of being a musician, and I thought that was an important thing for me to speak to, because I find, especially with the parallels that we discussed earlier with Nashville and living there, it just seemed very it was something that I needed to get out. And I see in my own career an incline. Definitely things are happening, but I'm not there yet in terms of, I could play 500 capacity venue and maybe sell it out in some place, but then there's another place where I've got 18 people showing up to my show, and I realize that there's a lot of work to do, and that allows me to relate to struggling musicians. And also being a struggling musician for most of my life. It took a very long time for me to get to this point. So, I'm sorry, did I detour from the original question?
It's all good.
Hi, my name is Lindi Ortega, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
You said you'd love me till the cows come home. Well, I'm hoping that they all go blind. Get lost out on some dirt back road and just hang around for someone else to find. You said you'd love me till the end of time, so I'm staring at that clock on the wall. Every day I give that thing a whine and pretend that I ain't waiting on your call.
Hi, my name is Lindi Ortega, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Welcome back to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard The Day You Die. That's off a record called Cigarettes and Truckstops by Lindi Ortega. I've got Lindi sitting right here beside me. I would love it if you could talk a bit about this one.
Well, this was a co-write song that I did with my friend Bruce Wallace in Nashville, who I love. He's such a quirky guy, and he's got a really dark sense of humor, and I feel that I can only really write with people that understand where I'm coming from, because I feel I'm a little quirky myself, and we're definitely like have the same kind of mindset when it comes to songwriting, and we just wanted to take all the cliches about love and turn it on their head, and you know, what would happen if you took those things literally, you know, love you to the day you die, love you till the end of time, and sort of just talk about that in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, and write this sort of sassy, funny little love song.
I've read that when you were first on the scene in Toronto, you were the member of a ska punk band called Sugar Kill. I was hoping you could sing for me a little bit of their signature song.
Gosh, I don't even remember. This was like so long ago, but I can tell you that it sounded like No Doubt. And people kept comparing us to No Doubt, and I got tired of that comparison. And, you know, it was really just the reason why and I'm going to totally deter again from your question, and I'm sorry, I just don't remember the songs, but the reason why I joined that band was because I had a management thing go horribly awry, and I really doubted myself, and I wanted to be so far the opposite of what I was before the management contract thing went awry. So I just was like, what can I do to rebel? Like, what could I do to rebel against myself? And that was what I could think of, was just like, I'm going to join a ska punk band and do something completely different than I've ever done before. And it was fun. Like, I mean, it was an experience, and it was something I felt I needed to do. But I knew soon enough, you know, that I had to go back to being a singer-songwriter and writing songs that mattered to me, and songs that I felt that touched people.
I'm glad that you decided to stop being in a ska punk band.
Thank you. My band members at the time weren't so happy about my decision to not be in the band, but we're still friends now, so it's all good.
You were also the backup singer for Brandon Flowers, who is the lead singer of The Killers, when he did a solo project. What's one thing being a backup singer teaches you about being Lindi Ortega, solo artist?
Nothing. There's nothing. You know, being a backup singer really wasn't for me. That's what I learned from that experience. It was an experience that did teach me things in different levels, but nothing to do with being Lindi Ortega. It was just more with how to treat musicians that you work with, and what it's like to exist on that level of I guess, fame and success. So he operated in a very high level, and so I got to see how, you know, the Tonight Show operates and how those big festivals operate. So I guess that was very interesting in that respect. But I wasn't allowed to be a creative person in that role, and I was not happy at the end of the day because I couldn't be creative. So, I mean, I give a lot of respect to people that do that job and people that love doing that job, and I totally get them because I did it, but it certainly wasn't a career that I was interested in pursuing after I'd done it.
You're one of those acts that's not always easy to pigeonhole. You've opened for long-lasting punk band Social Distortion. You're on Last Gang Records, which in Canada is sort of an indie rock label. Correct my descriptions if you'd like to.
Electro in there too, yeah.
So you do a little bit of your own thing. So I'm hoping that I can get you to talk a bit about straddling the boundaries between different genres.
I come by, like, honestly, it's never been a conscious effort to you know, open for punk bands and stuff like that. I just write music that is inspired by many different things, and of course there's a common thread with classic country and outlaw country, and it sort of runs through everything I do. But I listen to blues, I listen to soul, I listen to rockabilly, I listen to rock, roots, folk. I listen to all sorts of things, and I think it all comes through my music. And there's definitely an edginess to it that I think allows me to open for bands like Social Distortion and collaborate with Tim Armstrong of Rancid and play the Hootenanny, which is a rockabilly festival. And I'm just grateful that the music I create allows me to do those things, because exposes me to an audience that never would probably hear of me otherwise, and it's really expanded my U.S. and Canadian fan base by coming through with Social Distortion and playing those things, and it's offered me other opportunities as well.
I've read you've got a philosophy degree, so what's one piece of philosophy that you come back to routinely in your life?
The Myth of Sisyphus, which was, it's by Albert Camus, and it's about a man who's condemned to roll a giant boulder up a hill only to have it come back down from him. And I think being a struggling musician in the music industry is very similar to that scenario. And you have to relish your struggle in order to continue to love what you do, and get the lessons out of it that are important to make you the best musician that you can be.
Lindi Ortega, thank you very much for being on my show. I appreciate it. At the end of the show, I like the artist to pick one of their tracks and talk a bit about it as I bring it up.
All right, I will speak of Lived and Died Alone, which is a song that's a little unconventional. First of all, I'm going to preface this by saying that I have a deep love for the Mexican festival, the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And in Mexico, this is a festival that happens in November, and it's a celebration of the dead, and they dress up like skeletons, and they go and they bring candy to the graves and foods, and they have a party essentially. And the skeleton is this running theme, and that sort of created this deep love for the imagery of skeletons for me. And I actually own a lot of animal skeletons, which is kind of strange. And I paint myself, so I paint a lot of skulls and skeletons, and I think skeletons, they are the real proof of our existence that remains of us. And I think there's something very beautiful about a skeleton. So that I'm prefacing it by saying that I thought about people that lived their whole lives alone and then died alone and had nobody come to their funeral and nobody really think of them. And I just wanted to write a love song for them. And I just think of them in their graves, all lonely, all dust and bones and lonely, and how I would take them home and I would appreciate them.
All right, we're going to listen to Lived and Died Alone off Lindi Ortega's record, Tin Star. I'm Scott Wood. You've been listening to The Interview Show. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Lindi Ortega, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Love never came easily to me. There were no fish swimming in my sea. I resigned myself to the fact that I would always love, never to be loved back. That's okay. I know someday, when the sun has set, I will go dig up the dead, lift their bodies from their graves, and I'll lay them in my bed to fill their hollow hearts with all of my broken parts and all the love that they were never shown. To all those who have lived and died alone, I guess I thought it couldn't really hurt to search for sweethearts